Дуру салам, как вы поживаете? Не очень хорошо, ну хорошо. Okay. Y'all have been begging for this. Here it is. Just ate some nuts. KHAMZAT Borz Chimaev versus Lee the Leech Jangliang. Okay. Jangliang is a counterpuncher. He is always fidgety because he wants you to commit and then lay it out. Kicks is a very solid kicker. It's not going to end your career. You could take a couple of his kicks. If he gets higher than the hip, obviously any kick higher than the hip can end your night or end your life. So there's that. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Doesn't really go to Jitsu much. Pure striker, Chimaev. Very good striker, very good counterpuncher. Does he have one-hitter quitter? Probably. But he likes you to kind of move into his jabs and his hooks and give it a little bit extra. But he is not on the level of Chimaev as far as knockout power, knockout ability. He gets a lot of them, and that just speaks to how magnificent that invisible right-handed uppercut thunderbolt is. Can Chimaev keep Lee at a distance and use the 3-inch, 4-inch reach advantage? I think it's more than that. I don't see Jangliang having a 72-inch reach versus Chimaev's 75-inch reach. I think it's more like 70 versus 76. Because if it's not, if the numbers are correct and I'm incorrect, it's going to seem like a 6-inch reach advantage because Chimaev has the thunderbolt you can't see, and that's the right uppercut. Which means that if Jangliang, if he comes towards Chimaev, boom, thunderbolt. If he moves away from Chimaev, then it's against the cage, ground and pound. So if I am Jangliang, I am trying to get to guard position as fast as I can because that's where you have a technical advantage. You don't have an advantage in striking, although you're a better counterpuncher, although you're a better combo, sweet science type of guy, textbook stuff. But the stuff that you can't teach is everything that Chimaev has. So he's not going to be able to take him down. The Leech is not going to be able to take Borz Chimaev down with like a morote gari, single double leg type of stuff. So he's going to have to try to wrap the waist and foot sweep. Well, this guy's from Chechnya and he's an Olympic level wrestler. Soviet style, Soviet trained Caucasus mountain style wrestler. And we've seen that style of wrestling, that school of wrestling feeds into Sambo and creates world champions, submission grappling and combat sports competitors. That's the school that Khabib Nurmagomedov went to and Islam Makhachev went to. They learned that style of wrestling on top of their Sambo, which is adding the 4th and 5th degree of judo into Soviet style wrestling. So he doesn't have that, but what Chimaev has is a Timiwaza, a standing and striking natural feel that no one else has got. You can't teach it. You just have it or you don't. And he can knock you out anywhere in his strike zone. If his hands are like here, you can knock you out. If his hands are here, he can knock you out. If his hands are here, he can knock you out. And if he takes a step and lunges, he can knock you. He can also do everything backwards. He can step backwards and knock you out, step backwards and knock you out, leap backwards and throw that out and knock you out. It is remarkable what his knockout pop is, and for that reason, seeing that the brawler that the Leech is, he's going to need to go in and counter punch and combo punch. The only way to do that is to walk down the hallway into Chimaev. And Chimaev, anytime somebody walks down the hallway at him, he hits him with the invisible Lord Indra's thunderbolt. Oh, he's Islamic. So he hits him with the word of Allah. I mean, it's powerful. It's powerful. Since no one has beat Chimaev, I'm going to go with Chimaev. My only reservation is that perhaps Jangliang can foot sweep him, wrap him and foot sweep him. I doubt it, but the potential is there. Also, Chimaev has been sick for a year. All the news I ever hear is that he's sick one more time. He got sick, he's over it, now he's sick again. My guess is that there's something that was wrong with him that kind of led to him being sick all that time, and hopefully that's gone now. It's hard to be sick for a year and then throw on the gloves and go in and beat people up at a world-class level. But if anyone can do it, it's Chimaev, because his movement is natural, it is fluid. The Leech, he's gotta constantly be stepping and circling. Chimaev just walks in, boom. Boom. He glides into everything. He glides out of everything. He's relaxed. And if you know anything about martial arts, the more relaxed you can be, the harder you are to beat. The reason is because instead of being able to get an armbar here, you got to pull the thing past the other side of the head. The more relaxed they are. The muscles around the joints are relaxed, and the harder it is, even in shimiwaza, to constrict the throat. It's just difficult when someone is relaxed. Plus, when someone is relaxed, they can feel your breathing, even if they're aware of it or not, and escape. That is the riddle, the conundrum. That is the paradox that is fighting, is how to be forceful enough that you can inflict damage, while at the same time always remaining 100% far more relaxed than even walking. You're trying to get to a state of meditation. So you're trying to fight at a level of relaxation that is beyond the level of relaxation you have when you're relaxed and not moving, if that makes sense. While at the same time being able to create a kinetic force that is beyond the strength that you normally have when you do stuff that's strong, like chores. Like you're trying to hit someone harder than you are when you're chopping wood. You're trying to hit somebody harder than you are when you're pushing heavy things away, so on and so forth. So the people that are good at that are the best at that, remaining calm and then gliding into everything and firming up like a snake. That when I was a kid, that's all they talked about. Study snakes. Snakes come in, and they strike. And the snake is never tired, which is really kind of one of it's the true philosophy of shimiwaza. Like I said in the Islam Makhachof video, it's the constricting every time you breathe out. I get a little tighter every time you breathe out when I get tired. Because when you breathe in, you're as tense as you're going to be. When you breathe out, you're relaxed, right? So if I squeeze on your, that's what a boa constrictor does. Every time you breathe out, I get a little tighter because your body is contracting. I'm contracting. And then anytime you breathe in, you can't breathe in more. And if you panic, it's a lot of breathing out. Okay? Sabe? Anyway, so again, I think KHAMZAT has got an advantage, not in footwork. Again, it's the technical versus the natural. And I don't think that the technical is so technical that it can put the natural at a disadvantage. The only disadvantage for Chimaev in this fight, only one, is guard position. And can he use the wrestling against him, because wrestlers don't like to go on their back naturally. I've been grappling with wrestlers, and I found out a trick. First off, they don't know what to do when you bind an arm. Second thing is they don't know what to do when they go on their back. So what do? I bind their arm, I bind the leg, and I put them on their back. Let's go! Especially if they're like a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then I'm just like, the poison drips off my fangs. I am just lusting to fucking make that guy eat his belt, you know. At the same time, I grapple against purple belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they spank me up and down the ring. So please don't get the misconception that I'm some sort of like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu hunter, and I'm here to. No, I'm not. I play Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I like playing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I like Sambo, and so when I play Sambo, I play Sambo. I really, really, really like Sambo. If I could categorize myself as anything, it would be hard between being a judoka and being a sambolero or a sambuista. Anyway, and it's because I like to operate at a top control. I don't like to operate out of guard necessarily, unless I can shrimp out and go to sit guard, and then that kind of opens up all my judo throws and things like that again. And I'm really good at taking an arm or a leg if I have to. If someone's stripping away, then I can take a leg. But anyway, back to the fight. Here's what I see happening. Just real quick, I know I got off on a million tangents. Some of y'all love that shit. Some of y'all don't like it. Hey, it is what it is. Here's the deal. The Leech is going to come out and try to circle Chimaev. Chimaev is just going to walk to his spot and wait and just try to unload. If the Leech can counterpunch and make sure that the invisible right uppercut does not get the button, maybe just get the round part of the head. If he can hide his head, he's got a shot. He needs to get in, wrap the waist, and go down. If he wraps the waist, then it turns into wrestling. And Chimaev is from the Caucasus Mountains, and he's a wrestler, an Olympic level wrestler. And it was Olympic level wrestling that is the sambo that Islam Makhachev and Khabib Nurmagomedov they use. So what I think it's just going to come down to a strike. Lee has got to combo punch and counter punch, and if you sit and trade hands with Chimaev long enough, he's going to get you with either one of the hooks, crosses, and then that uppercut. That uppercut, you can't get hit with it. It ends fights. It is an immediate fight ender. Let's say he's thrown it, 30 times in all of his professional fights, and it's ended the majority of those fights. So he can't do it, and he's also a little bit taller, so Lee's going to have to strike up instead of down. You get more force when you strike down, but you can get a lot of. Mike Tyson taught us that the uppercut going up is just as lethal. It's is Chimaev still sick, and what did he lose from being sick? Because you take a look at the Meerschaerts fight. Meerschaerts was tense, tight, all that breathing stuff that I was talking about for however long I was talking about it. He was doing it wrong and then got taught a lesson. 16 seconds. That was the whole reason why I said it was a mismatch. Because Chimaev is a guy, you can't look at his belt. He's a blue belt. So what? That just means that his Olympic level wrestling, he has a submission package on top of it. Now, I wish that he would go and do sambo with the other guys and learn how to do top control from a wrestling, Morotegari-based takedown system. But it doesn't. It's his deal. Whatever. He's making a bunch of money. I'm some guy trying to scrape together whatever rubles I can to feed myself. And he makes more on his Instagram than I probably make the next couple years. So who knows what? Although I could get a job tomorrow and make so much money. Maybe Joe Rogan sees this and gives me a job talking blah, blah, blah about martial arts. All of a sudden, I'm like, who's $1 million man now? Anyway, blah, 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 blah. There it is. 15 minutes on Chimaev and Zhang. I'm calling Chimaev.